It's the 3 on PLAXtv.
Yeah, we doing all right. What's good, y'all? It's your boy PLAX, and I am back with another episode of the 3 on PLAXtv. And in this episode, once again, I am talking about the Brooklyn Nets. Now, hold on. I know some of y'all probably gonna be in the comments. Steve, let it go. Your team sucks. Your team is mid. Y'all not gonna do nothing. I hear you, right? And I understand on paper we don't look great, right? But when you look at the details, see, the key is in the details, right? We have been able to make, at the time of this recording, right? I'm recording this on Sunday night, going into Monday. At the time of this record, we've been able to maintain a 500 record with a ton of injuries to our main players. Like, I got it right here. Look. Nick Claxton been out for 8 of the previous 10 games, and then one of the games that he did play was the game he got hurt, so he didn't even play that full game. So technically, Nick Claxton been out for 9 games. Cam Johnson has missed 7 of the 10 games. Ben Simmons has missed 3 games. Cam Thomas, even though he's been playing amazing basketball, he's missed 3 games, and he's going to be out for the next 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. On top of that, Spencer Dinwiddie, showing his age a little bit, he's been in and out of the lineup. So, in all of those guys, besides Mikal Bridges, is our starters and our best players on the team. And with that adversity, we've been able to maintain a 500 record of 5-5 at the time of this recording. Now, most teams lose 5 of their 6 best players. They're not winning any games. You see what I'm saying? We're able to maintain a 500 record, so I can only imagine at full strength what we would be able to do. That's just me. I'm just looking at the details, right? On top of that, we finally unlocked Cam Thomas, so to speak. Cam started last season. We had a lot of injuries and stuff like that. We had a lot of issues with some of those other guys that was here. I'm not going to get into those guys. That's the past, and we're not going to talk about the past. We had a lot of injuries. We had a lot of issues with different guys last season. So Cam Thomas was able to play and start a few games, and he basically dominated. Like, he scored 40 points 4 or 5 different times. He started this season out really hot, scoring a lot of points, 30, 35 points, 40 points, 20-something points. And we finally allowed him to be in the starting lineup. And in all the games that he's played, he is currently averaging 26 points per game. And for like the first 5 games of the season, he was the leading scorer in the NBA besides Tyrese Maxey. Above Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, all those guys, he was technically the best scorer in the NBA. And he is averaging 26 points per game. On top of that, one of the issues with Cam Thomas, and one of the reasons I'm assuming he wasn't able to start sooner, is his defense, right? He's not the greatest defender. He doesn't really put too much effort into it. I don't love that about him. I don't love that about any player, but he was scoring at such a high volume. We have a lot of defenders on the team. I guess it wasn't that big of a deal, right? But he has shown improvement even on the defensive end. Now, again, he's not a great defender or anything like that, but he's putting in the effort, and you can tell he's trying to get better. And that's the scariest part, because you can't check him. Nobody seems to be able to stop him. He can score whenever he wants to. Does he take bad shots sometimes? Yeah, but so did Kobe and Jordan and all those other guys. I'm not saying he's Kobe or Jordan. I'm just saying, if you making them, I guess it don't really matter. And as long as, the other guys are getting their touches as well, I guess it's fine, right? So with him being such a dominant scorer, and hopefully that continues, on top of his improving defense, and let's assume and hope that he just keeps getting better defensively, we just kind of got out of thin air an all-star level shooting guard. Even if he doesn't improve defensively, he's still such an elite scorer that he's definitely all-star or close to all-star level when it comes to the offensive end. And honestly, in today's NBA, that's all motherfuckers care about anyway. So he may possibly be an all-star if he continues on this path of elite scoring. Ben Simmons. Now, Ben, I'm not going to lie, I did a whole video about it, him and Zion specifically. that, he was doing his, usual workout videos over the summer and saying he was back, and all his trainers were saying he was back, and I wasn't buying it, right? I wasn't buying it. I was like, I need to be shown something. I don't believe in this guy. He's hold me before he's hold Philly before. I know he was going through a lot of mental health and physical issues, but I just didn't believe in the hype, right? Because we had seen that before. But Ben Simmons, I must say, I'm proud of him, honestly. I really am. He's out right now. He's been out for a few games. But up until then, he's been averaging 6 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists per game. Which some people be like, oh, that's, that's not like great, but those are Draymond numbers. But honestly, I like that. I don't necessarily I would like for him to score 10 points a game, like averaging 10 points a game. And maybe this might be a little unrealistic, but I kind of want him to average a triple-double. That's me personally. I would like for him to average 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, a steal, and a block a game. And I feel like with his style of play, I think that's very much achievable. He just has to go and get that. But the biggest thing with Ben Simmons this season that I've been proud of and happy to see is that he doesn't seem afraid anymore. And that's the most important thing right there. Last year, previous years, his confidence was gone. He seemed scared to go to the rim, even though he's 6'10 and 260 and dominant. He just still seemed afraid going to the rim. I went to a basketball game in Brooklyn, and they were playing Boston, and I seen it live. Like, he was legitimately, like, he would get to the rim and kind of, like, shake a bit. He was legitimately afraid to score and get fouled and different things like that. This season, I don't see that. Is he not shooting jumpers? No, he's not. But we don't really need him to. We need him to be a prime Draymond. And so far, that's what he's been. Draymond isn't called upon to score 1 million points. I don't want Ben to score 1 million points. Get 10 points, get 10 assists, 10 plus rebounds, play defense well, and just be that glue in the offense that glues together Cam Thomas and Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges and Claxton, facilitating, being the point guard without even being the point guard, right? And, I've talked a lot of shit about Ben in the past, and I meant most of the things that I said, but you got to give credit where credit is due, and Ben has been playing great basketball this season. And the biggest part of that is his confidence seems to be back. I hope it stays that way, because a confident Ben Simmons is a scary Ben Simmons. People seem to forget this guy was a top. Wasn't he the first pick or something like that? Like, he was supposed to be one of the best players in the league. Will he be able to achieve that? I don't know. But if he can turn into a Draymond Swiss Army knife-esque player and consistently do that and not be afraid to attack when needed, that's a scary sight. I mean, again, his free throws, that's an issue. He can't shoot threes at all. Okay, that's fine. But if you can be that if he can be that Swiss Army knife and play defense, I can't ask, and not be afraid. Those are 3 things I need from him: play defense, be a Swiss Army knife out there and facilitate, and don't be afraid to attack. We're good. I have no problem with Ben Simmons at that point. Do your thing, big dog. Dorian Finney-Smith and Lonnie Walker, and by extension, Dennis Smith Jr. as well, too. Dorian Finney-Smith, when we got him, I was kind of like, okay. I'm not too familiar with his game. I thought everybody in Dallas besides Luka and Kyrie was kind of, Tim Hardaway Jr. is okay, but like most of those guys were, they don't really do anything. In my opinion, I just never seen them helping. It's mostly Luka doing everything, Kyrie trying to score, Tim Hardaway Jr. hit a couple threes, Maxi Kleber hit a couple threes, Dwight Powell catch some lobs, but I never really looked at their team and saw anything, right? So when we got Dorian Finney-Smith, I was just like, okay, whatever, sure. And then they were like saying he's gonna be starting and all that stuff, and I was just like, well, why is this guy starting? I'd rather start Ben. You guys will start Ben. Dorian Finney-Smith through the beginning of the season is averaging 14 points, 6 rebounds, and a block. And I must say, that's another one, like kind of similar to Ben in a different way. I'm proud of him. He's been playing great basketball. He's not the main guy by any stretch of the imagination. He's not really getting touches or anything like that, but he's making the most of every opportunity. He's defending. He's rebounding at a decent clip. When he gets the ball, he's relatively efficient. I love that. I love Dorian Finney-Smith. I've kind of become a little bit of a fan of him, going from being like whatever about us getting him to being kind of like a fan of him is a big jump. And I hope he continues on this path because he's been playing amazing basketball. Lonnie Walker, another one. Lonnie Walker so far is averaging 16 points per game. I understand that's mostly because of the injuries we had, but that's still amazing for him. And when we are at full strength, him coming off the bench along with Dennis Smith Jr. and I don't know what they doing, either Ben or Finney-Smith coming off the bench, but that supporting cast looks extremely solid, right? Because they're willing to play defense. They're willing to play defense. They knock their shots down. They move the ball around. They don't require shots or anything like that. Like they're fine with just being out there and doing their role. And that's the thing with the majority of our team, but having a solid bench on top of having a very solid starting five is a very scary sight. And I think people aren't giving us the credit we deserve, and they're not, like I said in the beginning, not looking at the details. Yes, we are 5-5 at the moment, but again, all of our best players have been out majority, if not all of the season or half of the season thus far. If we get a full stretch, like say, this might be unrealistic, but say we go the rest of the season with no injuries, I think we could be a 4 to 6 seed. And I don't think that's crazy to say. Mikal Bridges is a potential all-star. Cam Thomas is a potential all-star. Nick Claxton is an elite level big man in the league. I don't know if he's necessarily all-star level, but because he's just not really great offensively. But defensively, rebounding wise, he's elite, and he's proven that. Cam Johnson, an extremely solid player that can do a lot of different things for you. Ben, like I said, is that Swiss Army knife. He defends. He's not afraid. He facilitates. He rebounds. Then we have our bench, Dennis Smith Jr. playing very well this season. Lonnie Walker playing very well. Dorian Finney-Smith playing very well. The rookies knocking their shots down, seem confident. We look good for what we've been handed and the potential that we have. We look amazing, in my opinion. And me personally, I think we have one of the best supporting casts to our starters in the league right now because nobody's selfish. Everybody's willing to move the ball around and play their role, and everybody's also willing to step up if need be, and they've proven that. Now, Mikal Bridges. I did a video about Mikal. It was like I did it on my phone. It wasn't like a legit video like I do here, but I did a video and I just talked about, because I watched them play against Boston, and I was just talking about Mikal needs to be more aggressive. And I meant that. He definitely does. Like, in a situation where Cam Thomas is out, Cam Johnson is just coming back from injury, Nick Claxton is out, and it's just you, Lonnie Walker, and Dennis Smith Jr. and some rookies, Mikal, you should be taking majority of the shots. Now, Boston is a better team than us. I understand that, on paper at least. But in that situation, depleted that way, I expect Mikal to take majority of the shots. The ball should be going to him. I'm not saying Mikal is Jason Tatum, but on the other side, Tatum was getting the ball regularly. And not like, they're giving it to him. No, he was demanding the ball. And I think Mikal is still stuck in that, in that mindset of being like, okay, the other guy, like I'm just the help. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he's still stuck in that. Oh, Chris Paul and Devin Booker is here. They're not here, buddy. It's you. Mikal, it's you. This is your team. Even with Cam Thomas out there, even when we're at full health, this is your team. And I don't want you to think anything other than that. Mikal Bridges, this is your team. Dennis Smith Jr. and Lonnie Walker was bringing the ball up. I understand that. They're the guards. I get it. But Mikal was just like mostly standing in the corner. When he did get the ball, there wasn't any like sense of urgency. He was more so being passive. And I get Jacques Vaughn probably is telling him, you know, be willing to pass. And I agree with that. You should be willing to pass. And I understand Mikal is a very efficient player. But in this specific situation that I'm talking about against Boston, Dennis Smith Jr. driving to the rim 20 times and you standing in the corner is not going to get it done in any case or any scenario. This is your team. If Tatum is going down scoring, I'm not saying you're going to, like, you need to take the next shot in the post, up top, mid-range, whatever you want to do. You need to be taking that next shot. Even with Cam Thomas and Cam Johnson and and we're at full health, you need to be taking more shots. I'm not saying ball hog and chuck anything, but I feel like the offense should be running through Mikal a bit more. I like what we've been doing, but Mikal should definitely be getting majority of touches. It should go Mikal, Cam Thomas, a very close second, and then everybody else follows suit from there. It should never be Mikal Bridges for 5 or 6 possessions standing in the corner, especially when a lot of guys, top scorers, are out. That just doesn't make any sense to me. In my opinion, it's Mikal Bridges' team, even with Cam Thomas emerging as a potential all-star guy. So that's my only thing with Mikal Bridges. Other than that, I love him. He's efficient. I know that contradicts what I just said, but he's efficient. He's a very good to great defender. He almost won Defensive Player of the Year one year. And offensively, he's like that. That's what's surprising me. He plays passive as if he's not an elite scorer. Like, he's proven he can score with some of the best guys in the league. He's done it. I've watched him. We've all watched him. We could try to discredit him all we want, but he's done it against the KDs of the world and LeBrons and the Jason Tatums of the world. He's proven he can go toe-to-toe with those guys. Does he win every time? No, but he's proven he can face-to-face with those guys and get his. Jimmy Butler, all those guys, he's proven that. So for him to be kind of being passive now, it's kind of confusing me a bit. But other than that, like, he's averaging 20 points per game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and I think a steal or 2 steals and a block or something like that. That's amazing. I love that. I'm happy about that. But those points need to go up. He should be averaging 25, 26 points per game, him and Cam. And I don't think that's crazy for them to do. They're the dynamic duo that we have, and I think we should focus in on that more. If Cam Thomas is averaging 26 points, Mikal Bridges shouldn't be averaging anything under 25. And I truly, truly believe that. Besides that one game, our first game against Boston, not the one I was talking about, but the previous one, all the games that we've lost have been close. We lost to Dallas because Luka hit that crazy buzzer beater. Another team we lost to was a buzzer beater, and then any other game we didn't lose by under 5 points. So even in the games that we're losing, we're showing promise, we're showing heart, we're showing that we can be a playoff team and a team to worry about and a team to beat, because we've been, like I said in the beginning, we've been doing this at far less than 100% with our best guys out and able to maintain a 500 record. So I can only imagine at full strength what we will be able to do. And I truly think that we can be a 4 to 6 seed in the East. And I think that we can take a top team to 7 games and maybe even upset some people. I don't think that's crazy to say. I really don't think that's crazy to say. You guys will probably be in the comments tearing me apart. I really don't care because I truly believe in this team because, one, they work hard. They play well together. They help each other. They're a team's team. And Jacques Vaughn has been a great coach thus far. Defensively, this year so far, statistically, we haven't been great. But again, that's because of the injuries thing. Our best defenders, besides Mikal Bridges, have been out majority of the time. Like Nick Claxton's been out the whole season. He just played his first game back. By the way, in that game, he got like 10 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 blocks. That's what Nick Claxton does in his first game back after being out for 8 games. So I think with, again, once we're full force, defense will get better. Offense will get better, even though we haven't been too bad offensively. And I don't know. I just believe in this team, and I'm locking in that we could be a 4 to 6 seed and take a top team to 7 games in the first round and maybe even upset them. But I'm gonna let it go for now. I'm gonna let my guys prove me right. But without further ado, this has been another episode of the 3 on PLAXtv. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you comment down below. Let me know if you think I'm crazy. Let me know if you agree with me, anything like that. And most of all, YouTube, I love you guys. Peace out.
It's the 3 on PLAXtv.
Yeah, we doing all right.